Hey guys, this is going to be a PvP video for Death Knight in patch 5.1. I'm not the best geared right now, but my gear's fairly decent. I do a lot of arena, try to get it capped every week. You can see the weapon is upgraded as much as I can in patch 5.1, since you can upgrade item level using conquest or honor or any of your currencies you get. I think the weapon is the most important thing to upgrade, because most of the Death Knight abilities are directly affected by weapon damage, like your Obliterate with 354% or Frost Strike with 116%. This guide's going to cover talent points, glyphs, macros, enchants, gems, and a bunch of strategy that I normally use. There's no right or wrong answer in PvP, especially with the talent points or glyphs. It's all preference. Obviously some decisions are much better than others. I'll also cover some of the add-ons I use, and yeah, let's get to it. Alright guys, for the talent points, tier 1 I chose Unholy Blight because the AoE diseases in Battlegrounds is really good. Tier 2 I chose Lichborne for the Lichborne and self-heal with the Death Coil. It's also good to use the anti-magic shell ability before Lichborne heals, because the damage absorbed generates unique power. Often casters like mages will boot you in place, or a warlock will fear you. If you can get an anti-magic shell on as soon as possible, a lot of that damage will be giving you runic power, and you can Lichborne heal off of that. Tier 3 I chose Death's Advance. I know a lot of people choose Chill Veins or Asphyxiate. I like Death's Advance because of 10% movement speed. Also the Foot Enchant stacks with that, and it's good to charge your enemies, like if a hunter would CC you or slow you down. Next tier I went Death Pack, 50% maximum health, for 50% of your maximum health of your ghoul. It's really good, unlike in Cataclysm where it sacrificed your ghoul. I see people use Dead Siphon. The reason why I'm really against this is that it costs a death rune, and I would use all my death runes on necrotic strikes if needed. Especially if you want to fight healers and you want to get them down, you want to stack necrotic strikes as much as you can. Or even when a warrior has second wind, where they regenerate 3% of their maximum health every second, and necrotic strikes will just absorb that damage up right away. Another ability that most people use is Runic Empowerment over Runic Corruption. I'm just testing out Runic Corruption right now. I normally have the Empowerment ability. I like Runic Corruption right now because I'm reforging a lot of my abilities into haste, and I feel that the Runic generation is much better as a result when you get more in haste. My final tier, I chose Remorseless Winter. It's really nice to use on melee, especially when they stack up on a healer or stack up on you. It ruins their burst, especially in the beginning of arena when they pop all cooldowns, and a 6-second stun, or even slowing them down, letting the healer get away, because it constantly reduces their movement speed up to 5 stacks until it stuns them. But I mean, it's really good. Alright guys, next up is talent points. There's no one right answer, it's all preference. I chose Anti-Magic Shell. It absorbs all incoming damage up to the absorption limit, and the absorption limit is 50% of the maximum Death Knight's health. So if I have 365k health, or maybe even 418k health in Blood Presence, this can absorb up to 200k health in the 5 seconds that Anti-Magic Shell lasts. Another glyph I use is Glyph of Dark Secure. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. It's good for arenas. Most of my glyphs are arena based. Kill somebody, get 20% of your maximum health on the next death strike. It's pretty good. My third glyph is Glyph of Icy Touch. I like this one a lot, especially when fighting priests. They put their shield up, you can dispel it. If you want to use a frost rune in fights that last more than 5 minutes, and if your enemy has a Mark of the Wild, that's 5% strength, 5% agility, or 5% intellect, it's good to dispel that off. Or if they have a stamina buff, you can take that off as well. It's really helpful in those situations, especially when you want to reduce how much your enemy is doing damage or healing, and you just want to like outperform them, right? The minor glyphs don't really matter. It's just preference. I choose Glyph of Resilient Grip in case my death grip is immune. The cooldown's reset. Path of Frost, it's good to jump off cliffs, I guess, and not take as much damage, and on a winter with a little snow coming down. Next I'll go over the enchants. The shoulder enchant, you want to get 200 strength, 100 crit. That's made by the Inscriptionist. For the cloak enchant, you want 200 stamina. For the chest, I went with 200 PvP resilience. For the bracers, I went 170 mastery. The gloves, 170 strength. The belt is a belt buckle, you can put another gem in there. The leg enchants that are made by leather workers, 285 strength, 165 crit. And the boots, 170 mastery and minor speed increase. I am an enchanter, so I do get the 160 strength on both my rings, which is pretty nice. And lastly, for the weapon, I went Wound of the Fallen Crusader. Good thing about being a Death Knight is you don't have to constantly enchant your weapon over and over again. You can just reforge it. It doesn't cost you anything. The Wound of the Fallen Crusader is really nice. 3% heal and 50% total strength for 15 seconds. Next up is what you want to reforge into. You want to make sure you have at least 3% hit chance and at least 3% expertise to be PvP capped. The other stats that are top priority is PvP power, followed by strength and PvP resilience. Then haste, crit, and mastery. Most of the gear you get will obviously have PvP power, strength, and PvP resilience, but it might not always have haste, crit, and mastery. You want to reforge into haste in this case. There's a few reasons why. One of the reasons it increases your attack speed and rune regeneration. This is one of the reasons why I'm experimenting with Runic Corruption, because you get, instead of having 100% rune regeneration for 3 seconds, it's 2.7 seconds. And another reason is because of the ability Killing Machine. Your auto attacks have a chance to get 100% crit chance. So if you have higher haste, you're hitting more often, so you have a higher chance of rocking Killing Machine, which is basically your heavy hitters, Obliterate and Frost Strike. Next up is the gemming. It could be preferenced which you want to go for. If you want to be more offensive, you can get more PvP power. If you want to be defensive, you can get more PvP resilience. What I went for the helmet enchant was the Reverberating Primal Diamond, 216 strength, 3% crit. For gems like Blue Gem, I'll go for 220 PvP power, Stormweaver's Heart. And the Red Gem, I can either go for the 160 strength, but I'm switching more over to this one here, the Rogue Stone, 80 strength and 160 PvP power. And the Yellow Gem, I would go with the Vivid Wild Jade, 160 PvP power and 160 PvP resilience. Next up, add-ons. For add-ons, I don't use too much. I obviously use Gladius, which is used for Arena, but I don't have it enabled right now since I'm not doing Arena. Another add-on is the target health percent. It does what the name says. It tells you what the target health percent is. This is really handy when using abilities like Soul Reaper. If their health is under 35%, it goes a different color. If you can anticipate their health reaching that threshold, 35% or under, you can start applying it early, maybe 36 or 37%. If you can bring their health down in 5 seconds. Another add-on I like to use is Tell Me When. So if abilities like Dark Secure procs, it shows me a count on how much time I have left to use it. I know it still shows up here, but if it's right under your characters, like in your face, you know exactly when to use it. When my this one over here tells me when my Pillar of Frost is on, and when it goes off cooldown and when it comes back on cooldown, it'll come back up under my character. And this is obviously a Killing Machine, so I know exactly how much time I have left to use the Killing Machine. Especially when Obliterate's on cooldown, you want to wait for it to come back up, and if you want to make sure you have enough time to use it and it doesn't go away. So this way I can time it properly. These abilities down here are just for tanking my death strike shield, blood shield, tracking my own shields, and my winter buff. See, the ability of Pillar of Frost went away, but after a minute it's going to come back up under here. So I'll know I can use that cooldown as soon as it's available. Next up is macros. I know I have a lot of macros here. Most of them are from Unholy. I used to play that in Cataclysm, but I play mainly Frost spec and Blood spec now in MOP. One of the macros used a lot is the Lichborne heal. Just cast Lichborne, target yourself, spam Death Coil. You can get a lot of good heals when you just spam that. It can range between, for my gear, 45 to 100k crits. Another macro I use a lot is a sequence macro. The Plague Strike and Howling Blast to reapply your disease. You can obviously use Outbreak, but it has a 1 minute cooldown. You just press it once. It cycles between Plague Strike and Howling Blast. And the third macro I use a lot is mouseover macros. I use it on my Death Grip, Chains of Ice, and Strangulate. So for example, if you're attacking the target here, and this target here or this target here is attacking your healer and you want to slow it down, you can mouse over it easily and slow it down like that. Or you can, if this is a healer, you can do the same thing, strangulate it while focusing on this target here, like that. Or if it's a melee hurting your target, you can run away and just death grip it. But of course, target dummies, you can't death grip target dummies because the target's tapped. Alright, for an example, if I was fighting someone over here, and then I can see this monk is hurting my healer, or I need to take them off of it, I can easily do a mouse over while still targeting this character and bring him here. Likewise, if I'm fighting my enemy again and I need to do a silence him off, I can mouse over and silence him, see? Or Chains of Ice, while targeting someone else. That's why I like using mouse over in Arena. Some strategies that I use for my Death Knight. You could use the anti-magic shell, which every absorption can generate certain power, and you can use Lichborne right after that. Another ability what I try to use is to get empowered when weapon on healers. If I can get their health to be really low, I'll just pop that and then spam narcotic strikes as much as I can and stack as many narcotics as possible, since it just absorbs the healing received, and that's how I try to focus on kill off healers that just don't want to die. Thanks for watching, guys. This is the first WoW video I've ever made. Let me know what I could do to improve in future ones. I know it was a little bit monotone, so, and it was long as well, but you know, I try my best. Thanks for watching.